what I'd encourage everyone to do is step out of their comfort zone. When you look at really what I was doing, I'd never done channel business before. I didn't know resellers. I didn't have a network. I didn't know anyone. But the opportunity was there. I was given the opportunity and I took it on. My preparation more was because of what I was doing in campus. Remember, when I was in campus, I was in a student organization.
Yes.
Because when you're in campus, you've got the opportunity to either just have fun or do something both. As you're having fun. If your mindset is wrong, you will definitely not make it.
Yeah.
Start with that mindset of, I want to challenge myself. I want to question status quo.
Yeah. I love that.
The pressure will either kill you, but don't let it kill you. Go for it.
Let it fuel you.
That's now where you get out of your comfort zone and go out there.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of the My Tech Story Africa podcast. My name is Alice Kanjejo, your lovely host, and the last time we were on the podcast when we're having our guests and other roundtable discussions, I had mentioned that the next time we should have reached 2K subscriptions, and you guys did not disappoint. So thank you so much for getting us to 2K on YouTube. We are now almost at 2.3K, which is just a complete shift from how we used to grow. Right now we're growing, more people are listening to us, and so thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, subscribed from wherever you're listening from, and check out our website at mtsafrica.co and subscribe to our newsletters at mtsafrica.co/join. That getting out of the way, today we have a very special guest and I'm very excited to introduce him, but I will allow him to introduce himself. Norbert, take the stage. Tell our audience who you are and what you do.
All right. My name is Norbert Siteyi. I'm currently the B2B lead for Logitech in East Africa. I'm basically within the tech space. I've been a tech sales lead for quite some time, and I'm glad to be on this show.
I mean, that's what we want to uncover, what quite some time means. And so, yeah, I think without further ado, we'll get into your story, Norbert. So tell us, from the time when you were younger, where did your interest in tech begin, or where does your tech story actually begin?
Thank you so much. So my tech story starts in the year 2000. At that time, that's when the e-commerce boom was happening. That's when the Amazons of this world were starting out. So my interest started simply by reading stories in magazines, online, and on news. It was all over the place. And there was a lot of hope in e-commerce at that time. Amazon was just starting out. A lot of the companies we now see as tech giants were literally startups at that point.
Yeah.
So it piqued my interest, and I guess for the rest of the world as well. We all got interested in tech. And for me, at that time, I was in campus. Now, what I did with that interest, as I was still in campus, I got an opportunity to work for Virtual City. At that time, Virtual City was the first Kenyan company to offer online shopping. It was a very new concept, completely new.
Can I just take you back slightly? When you say Virtual City and getting to there, what were you studying in university, and how did you get the opportunity to work for Virtual City, the first e-commerce platform, as you say?
So in university, I was doing Bachelor of Commerce, and I had not yet chosen an option at that point in time. Before joining campus, I was doing accounting at Strathmore. So when I was in campus, I knew one thing. I did not want to continue pursuing my accounting. I wanted to do something more interesting, which was not formed at that time. So I was in a student organization at the point called ISEC. And as ISEC, what we used to do is work with corporates. So on one of these meetings where I went to meet with the corporates, I met with the Virtual City. We went to pitch to Virtual City programs and asked what we do as students. And while we were in that meeting, the guy turned around and said, "Hey, you guys look like enterprising young guys. Would you mind working for me?"
Just within that...
In that meeting space when we were pitching what ISEC can do for him and how we'd like him to partner with ISEC. So... Would
you say that it was your charisma that then got you the the first opportunity then to...
I guess he was interested that young guys still in campus can come to him and pitch to him an idea.
Yeah.
And So when he offered us the opportunity, myself and my friend, we thought, why not? This is an emerging space. So we told him yes, and that's how we started working for Virtual City.
Okay.
While still in campus.
While still in campus. So this was maybe third, fourth year?
This was second year.
This was second year.
Yes.
Wow, that is...
very fresh.
That is very fresh and very audacious as well for the guy to take a bet on you guys, or just based on that one interaction.
Yeah.
So how was that experience like now? You're on campus and you're working in this new thing. What were you even onboarded as?
When I finally got onboarded on Virtual City, we were ideally hired to sell the online platform. Remember, this is a totally new concept. Kenyans don't understand it. We ourselves don't understand it. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that really sparked my tech interest was one day I came to work, my computer had crashed. Remember, we are 6 people in that company. Mm-hmm. Now, when my computer crashed, I talked to the tech guy. I told him, hey, my computer's crashed. Can you sort me out?
Yeah.
The guy laughed at me. Then he told me, you fix it. I was like, what do you mean fix it? I don't know how to fix a laptop. No, it was a desktop at that time.
Yes.
So he gave me instructions that told me what you need to do is A, B, C, D. And that was the first time I actually opened up a computer and fixed it myself. And the computer came back online. So from that moment, I was shocked. I was taken aback. I was like, wow, I can actually fix a computer. And from then on, I was like
that moment.
Yes. So that moment, I told myself, so tech is not as hard as people
might make it look.
Because for me, tech at that time was still a bit foreign. And I was just being a pure sales guy.
Yeah.
And then I started getting interest. What do computers do? How do they work? And then went into campus, student. I ended up doing marketing and then I stopped pursuing my tech interests, so to speak.
Yeah.
After campus, I went into business. I did business for about 13 years in different aspects. I exported stuff, sold stuff. And then in 2015, I got an opportunity. At that time, business was tough. So one of my friends approached me and told me, hey, there's this opportunity, why don't you apply? Mm-hmm. And I got in to work for Dell as what we call a funded head. It's more like an intern. So it was a 1-year opportunity. And when I was in Dell during my internship program, I worked hard and it sparked my interest in tech again. I used to learn a lot about tech, read a lot. What happened is at the end of the 1 year, the program got stopped, but Dell kept me on.
Sorry, and the program was on what specifically?
So I was there basically just to help structure the channel. Mm. And basically what structure the channel means is build a channel for Dell. Mm-hmm. How B2B works is if I'm a vendor as Dell, I do not sell directly to the end customers. I need resellers who are able to sell to the end customer. Yeah. Now we needed to recruit several resellers and have them be able to sell Dell to the end customers. So that's what I was building that channel of resellers. Mm-hmm. So in Dell, I managed to scale up their channel and grew it. And one of the highlights for my time at Dell was introducing Dell gaming into the market. Dell went into the gaming space, and one of the products I was given to do now was to launch gaming in the market. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's one of the key highlights. I always say I introduced Dell gaming into the market.
And how was, what were some of the key challenges that this first task back into tech, like you mentioned, that maybe you did business, you doubled, your expertise at that time was probably marketing and what you've done. And then now this was I'm assuming your first time you're told by Dell, which is a reputable company, that you want to make B2B sales for a gaming technology system. So what was that like, and what are some of the key challenges as in your early stages really of getting into this?
So there's a key difference between enjoying gaming. I can be a gamer, I enjoy gaming, and there's a very totally different perspective when now you're selling gaming systems. So yes, I did enjoy gaming, but then I had to learn about if I'm positioning these for resellers, why would resellers sell
What's
this?
the angle?
What's their key value? Why would they position this in the market? What sort of support am I going to give them? How do I convince them that this is a product that is going to actually shake the market? So it's good to enter in early. So just figuring out all those questions was new, tough, scary, but exciting as well. And we managed to do it, got few partners who got onto the gaming bandwagon. I got in touch with the gaming community, and it was exciting.
What you said this was 2015.
This is now in 2017.
This is 2017.
Yeah.
Okay. What happens after then? Now you're fully integrated into this gaming sales.
Now, as I was doing that, I guess you start getting noticed by the market. So I was approached by my next employer, who was Canon, who then told me, hey, we've got an opportunity. Would you mind looking at it? Again, it was in the channel space, growing the channel space for Canon. And yeah, so I jumped from Dell into Canon. Yes. Again, I was in Canon for about 3 years. And what I got to do as in Canon was again scale their channel across East Africa. And then from channel, I moved now to key account management, which is slightly different from channel because now you're talking directly to the end customers. And I ended up being a country manager.
Okay, no, that overview is what we really want to get to understand. Like even that transition into, okay, you got this, then you got that, then you became country manager. I think we're more so interested to know if I want to get to a similar journey, if I'm starting off into sales, like what are some of the things that I need to take into consideration to get to even that position? From what I'm gathering, you have a lot of connections that maybe are involved, or rather, as you do, you're picking up clients along the way. And is that how then people should look at B2B sales growth as a career, or what are some of the things you can say on that?
What I'd say for someone who's looking at growing their career trajectory would be, when we all start out, we've got fear, we lack motivation, we lack the confidence. We always think of ourselves as, I'm not able to do this. Now, what I'd encourage everyone to do is step out of their comfort zone. When you look at really what I was doing, I'd never done channel business before. I didn't know resellers. I didn't have a network. I didn't know anyone. But the opportunity was there. I was given the opportunity, and I took it on. When you look at Canon as well, again, I was told here we're giving a role for channel across East Africa. I did not have connections
across East Africa,
apart from Kenya. But I was willing to actually go and try and look for those resellers and build that channel.
Yeah.
So stepping out of your comfort zone and be willing to challenge yourself and tell yourself, I am willing to do this. That would be the very first step I would encourage everyone to do.
Sorry for cutting you short. There's a common saying that people say is that opportunities when luck meets preparation. Would you say that you were prepared for those opportunities to find you?
I was prepared, I would say yes. And my preparation more was because of what I was doing in campus. Remember, when I was in campus, I was in a student organization.
Yes.
Because when you're in campus, you've got the opportunity to either just have fun or do something
both.
as you're having fun. So what I encourage everyone to do is have both.
Yeah.
Have fun and also do something. Join student organizations, be out there, challenge yourself. Just be in spaces which will get you out of your comfort zone and get you exposed. Expose yourself as much as possible. Again, when you look at when I came out of campus, I went into business. It was something I didn't know. So what business taught me is if you don't do something, you will not eat.
Yeah.
So challenge yourself and go out there. Do those cold calls, do those cold emailing, talk to people. So by the time I got the opportunity for Dell, I was more or less ready because I'd been going through a series and a cycle of challenging myself, throwing myself out there.
Yeah. And I think that's what preparation is all about, really. It's nothing that is so out of pocket. It's just you daily trying to make everyday initiatives and steps towards something that maybe you already know that you're looking to work towards, or you don't know anyway, but when the time comes, then the tools, the skills that you were learning then come hand in hand.
Yeah. So I'd actually tell people it's more of a mindset. Have the mindset that you will always be willing to challenge yourself, be willing to always get out of that comfort zone. So if your mindset is wrong, you will definitely not make it.
Yeah.
Start with that mindset of, I want to challenge myself. I want to question status quo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, I don't know if this is the right time to ask, but I know that sales and marketing are often intertwined, but I'm just curious to know from your perspective, when it comes to B2B marketing, what are some of the the differences between sales and marketing? How do both of them work together? Essentially, if I'm trying to get customers, even if I'm a tech company and my organization does B2B sales, how can we then still work with marketing to make that happen?
So first and foremost, one of the most important things to understand is sales and marketing are totally different.
Absolutely.
Marketing deals more with generating interest and demand. So marketing is activities which drive a potential customer, to first know about your product and be interested in your product and be able to understand what the value proposition is.
Yes.
So it's about, you have no clue. Now, as marketing, I want you to have knowledge about a certain product. Sales is about numbers.
Absolutely.
Sales is about closing that sale. At the end of the day, I want to know, have I sold 10? Have I sold 20? Have I sold 30? It's not about, I have positioned this. I've talked to so many people. It's about how much have I closed. But the two work hand in hand, because the salesperson is not able to close if demand has not been generated. So from a B2B perspective, how we look at it is, if I'm doing any marketing activity, I always have to figure out what's the ROI, what's my return on investment. So for example, if I'm hosting an event, I've called certain end customers to come for that event, and I will give them some giveaways. My key takeaway is not that I've done the event. The event now has created demand. As a salesperson, then I need to come in and find out how many people have I talked to, how many people do I have follow-up meetings with, and how many people are interested in closing. Because 1 month down the line, 2 months down the line, I need to be able to say, out of that activity that we did, we were able to generate X amount of leads, and from those leads, we've been able to close X amount of business.
Yes.
And the rule of thumb in sales is, you target business worth, let's say, 10 million, you will only close about 30%. So the amount of business you're chasing has to always be more than the amount that you're actually
expecting.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Well, 30% is of the 10
We always
million
estimate a 30% close rate. So your pipeline always has to be big.
Why does this already give me high blood pressure just thinking about what it takes to actually even
So it depends on you as a person, because it can either give you high blood pressure, but that pressure is also good, because that pressure then makes you start firing and wondering, how do I close? How many people do I need to talk to? What am I actually doing towards generating this pipeline?
Yeah.
So sales, you'll talk a lot about pipeline. I've got X amount of people I'm talking to. So for example, if my target, because sales works purely with targets, if my target is $1 million shillings or $1 million, I need to be talking to people who can potentially give me $10 million.
Yes.
Or I need to have enough leads that are worth 10 million.
Yes.
That's how now you translate, because out of that 10 million, at least if I close 30%, I've got 3 million potential closing. Actual close, I'm guaranteed that 1 million. But I cannot I have a target of $1 million and I am chasing leads worth $1 million. So you're always thinking, who else do I need to talk to? Which sectors have I not touched? Which group of customers have I not talked to? You're always thinking, and it gives you a bit of an adrenaline rush.
I can see that you're saying this with a wide smile on your face. I can see the interest very, very greatly on your face.
So the pressure will either kill you, but don't let it kill you. Go for it.
Let it fuel you.
That's now where you get out of your comfort zone and go out there.
I mean, and can one work without the other? Do you think that sales can work well without the marketing aspect of it, or it depends on what product it is?
It depends on the product, but if you want success, both have to work together.
Both have to work together.
You have to generate demand or at least interest for you to be able to have a pipeline to talk about.
Yeah. And I really like what you said about them working together, because there's almost, okay, you hire marketers or people who are good at PR and communications.
Yeah.
When you're telling them about numbers, that's not their strong suit. So there's almost like, just when you hire marketers, like also just distinguish the expectations that perhaps you may have. You may want, maybe what you're really looking for is a salesperson or a growth marketing lead, and what you have is someone who does content or strategy or digital distribution, sort of building relationships and client, whatever.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. I think my next follow-up question then, before we get further into your journey, is about client relationships. As you've mentioned, you're probably working with or looking for people who are of high, you're looking for high transaction volumes. Maybe sometimes people of high tax bracket, or sales can also become annoying when you're in your email. People are constantly trying to email you, or cold calls, which in my very short time of doing sales was one of the things I hated to do. But how do you then build trust as a B2B sales representative, and how do you make long-term partnerships with people?
So one of the things I've discovered on my journey has been, when you start out in sales, all you want to do is close.
Yes.
Because you're interested in getting that number, because if you don't get that number, you don't get paid.
Absolutely.
Now, but as you grow in sales, it's less about pushing a client to close and sign. It's more about understanding a client's pain point. The more I understand your pain point, the more I connect with you. And the more I connect with you, the more then I introduce my product as a solution to your pain point.
Your problem.
So that's now what we call consultative selling, where the client looks at me as a consultant. So I'm coming to talk to you to understand what ails you. What troubles do you have? What causes you not to sleep at night? What causes your business to lose money? Now, the more I understand your problem, the more then I position my product to be able to solve your problem. Once you see my product being able to solve your problem, the closing becomes much easier. Absolutely. And then you trust me more because I have taken the time to actually understand how my product will actually fit in your space.
In your space.
And remember, B2B sales at times is, you're talking volume business or you're talking big business. So you're not talking $10 business. You're talking about $1,000 business and upwards. Probably $100,000 or $1 million business. So it's not something that you want to come, here's the deal, this is what my product does, when are you buying?
Yeah.
You will not close that sale.
You have to go through a buyer's journey almost. To be able to get the outcome.
So that buyer's journey is the process through which you understand the client's problems and how you position yourself to solve those problems. Because the client might have problems, but your product actually has no way of actually solving their problem. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I really like that response. I think that is the principle of business in general, which is always looking at who is the client and what do they actually need to be solved, and how can I be the bridge between what they're the problem and the solution.
Yeah.
Okay, taking you back to your story when you were telling us your journey towards getting to country manager, what happens next?
So I've done channel business, but now the gap then in the market becomes, we need to talk to more end customers, do a bit of business development. That's now what a key account manager does, because a key account manager now looks at a particular sector or a particular segment of clients, and then looks at how do I position my products for this particular sector, because this sector drives a lot of my business. So, and then you have a certain number of clients who you can project that you'll generate enough business to sustain you for the whole year. So it's less mass market, it's more niche. Yeah. So I did key account management for a while, and then that's what got me now promoted to country manager.
Ah, okay. And I mean, how was that experience like now being here and doing everything that you've done? Do you feel like everything was interconnected, from you doing what you did in uni and then you having that opportunity in tech? Like, just give us some insights into what lessons you've learned from this journey that you've been on so far?
So the core out of all of this, when I was in campus, remember I have an interest in marketing, but I'm in tech at that point, and I have a finance background or an accounting background. For me, I never wanted to let go of any, so I decided to amalgamate them into one.
And I feel that is a very serious dilemma that you've just brought up, that people enter account every day. You're told that maybe if you just focus on one thing, or this is what you're really good at, then that's what you stick to. But what if there's a world that maybe if I can focus on all of them and bring them together?
Yes, and that's what I did. So what then, if you look at even how I describe myself, I'm more of a business development professional. Now, what business development dictates is I understand how to sell. I understand from the point of view of marketers, how do I generate the demand? I also understand the numbers, and my accounting background is very good in helping me understand the numbers. I understand return on investment, understand profit, net profit. I can go deep.
Yes.
So when I look at an opportunity, I'm looking at it from three sets of eyes. From a sales perspective, from a marketing perspective, from an accounting, finance perspective. Now, that enables me to be able to connect with my customers better. It also enables me to answer a lot of their questions. Yeah. So I'm not just there to close a sale. I'm understanding some of your challenges.
Everything.
You might want a product, but how do you finance it? Can I connect it to potential financiers who can finance you your acquisition of this product? And if you acquire this product, this is your potential return on investment for you, my client, in your business. This is how I'm going to help you save money.
Do I have to have a certain type of personality to be a successful B2B sales representative?
Yes, you have. In my opinion, you need to be a go-getter, someone who's always willing to throw yourself out there.
Yeah.
You need to be someone who is willing to challenge the status quo. Ask questions. When I look at people like Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, the one thing that ties them all together is they ask the most basic of questions. For example, why can't we go to Mars? That's what inspired Elon Musk to create his rocket company.
Yeah.
If you enter a lift, why do we all face the same direction? Why can't we face different directions? That could inspire you to make or redesign how lifts are. You get, so let's get into the process of challenging the status quo. Why should things happen this way? Why can't there be a different way of doing things? Be a go-getter and be a person who gets out of your
comfort zone
and be willing to learn. If you're not willing to learn, never stop learning. So one of the things I do up till today, I learn. I used to be able to read 700-page novels. These days, I'm no longer able to read them simply because of time. But I'm a micro learner. So I'll read small things every single day. I have never stopped learning.
Never stopped learning.
Yes.
Wow, I really like that, a micro learner, because I think I sort of pick things up the same way. Just because you think that right now you're reading it, you won't remember. It's like just the small things, they come in handy as you go along. So I really like that kind of principle. Any other lessons that you think you'd like to share with our audience as well through your journey?
In today's world, there's so much opportunity. You can take your career in any direction. You've got tools such as YouTube. You've got podcasts people can listen to, like your podcast.
Absolutely.
Get to learn a lot. You've got Twitter, you've got TikTok, there's so much on social media. Now, the challenge is I can either decide to go to social media, watch videos, laugh the whole day, or yes, I can laugh, but I can also follow certain key people who give me insights into things I do not know about. So I'm one of those guys who will always look for information which I don't know. As I said, I'm always challenging my comfort zone.
Yes.
Web3 is new.
Yes.
What is it about Web3?
It's funny you've mentioned that our next guest will tell you more about what Web3 is all about.
Yeah, so get in there. Find out what is Web3, what is blockchain, what is AI.
Absolutely.
Keep learning what is IoT. How can IoT help me?
Yeah.
That constant challenge, constant learning, constant asking yourself questions should give birth to solutions, potential solutions, potential businesses that you can do.
I just wanted to add in what you're saying. I think especially as someone who, yes, I work in the tech space, but I'm not necessarily technical. The best way you're able to be a good tech sales or sales representative or a tech marketer is for you to be curious to know about what's happening within the tech space so that you're able to actually adapt and move the way people are moving and be ready when the opportunity presents itself for other things. Yeah. And I think...
just to add one more thing. Never be afraid of the tech.
Never be afraid of the tech.
Learn about it. It's not as complex.
It really
just
isn't.
Needs interest and time.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then do you have any regrets actually, or things that you wish you did differently throughout the course of your career?
To be honest, I don't have any regrets. And the reason I don't have any regrets is because when I throw myself into something, I go full on. I don't hold back.
Yeah.
I'd rather, and I'm not afraid to fail. That's the other thing. There are so many things I've started which have failed. There are things I've tried which have failed. But out of it, I learn, I iterate, and I move to the next one. And for every failure, rather than look at it as a failure, it's actually a stepping stone to something else. So I've always been pushing myself, throwing myself 100% into whatever I am doing. Yeah. Okay. So I really don't have regrets, so to speak.
And that's okay. It's never regrets, just lessons.
Yeah.
All right.
And I've had fun as I always tell people, have fun.
Have fun while you do it, always, because...
Don't do it because you must do it. Do it and do it with all your heart.
With all your
have
heart.
Fun.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Especially if you've decided you're going to put your mind to it. Yeah. And I mean, are there any trends or tech trends that you're excited about that are happening across the continent that I'm curious about as well?
All right. AI is very big. I'd advise everyone to get on top of AI. And simply because AI can help you build a lot. It can help you do things which were not possible before. So see how you can incorporate AI in whatever you do and see how you can benefit from it and get on top of it. Web3 is interesting. Web3 has so many potential applications, from crypto, blockchain, to transforming the way we keep records everywhere. So there's a lot of potential within the Web3 space. Mm-hmm. I've dabbled a lot in Web3, the crypto space.
Really?
Tried, tested, failed, learned a lot.
How long? That is a journey in itself. Like, maybe people should be asking, how long have you been into Web3 and crypto? Because it's a journey in itself.
Web3, crypto, I'd put it at 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years. Yeah. I would say the same.
So I'd tell you, these are some of the developments happening. I'm not deep in it, but at least I'm aware of what's happening.
Aware of what's happening.
IoT is also big. The potential applications for IoT are massive. Mm-hmm. It can transform the way we do agriculture, the way we do health, the way we do public transport. It can transform the way we run our cities. So IoT in itself is also another big space. 5G as well.
Sorry, could you just clarify what IoT is?
Internet of Things. So you've got these devices which can help you monitor different aspects of whatever it is you're looking at. So for example, if I'm in the agricultural space, I can put devices in the soil to tell me soil humidity, the fertilizer content in the soil. Now what that enables me to do is be able to monitor my farm simply from my...
So basically data collection.
I'm able to then generate reports, and then it's able to tell me, you need to add this type of fertilizer in this particular section, not in your whole farm, but in this particular section. You don't have enough water, it's now time to release the water. Mm-hmm. Now with current technology, you can now fully automate all that. So automation is another key aspect, which people also need to get on top of. Mm-hmm. Automation will help do a lot of the manual, repetitive tasks and do it perfectly. So tech is exciting. It's endless opportunities. Another key space is e-mobility. Mm-hmm. E-mobility is an emerging field which I think will also really form one of our key sectors, transport.
Which is true. I mean, we had a bit of a debate here whether if it's profitability wise, whether that's still going to penetrate the market successfully, and who knows whether we have the electric motors that are going on around Nairobi right now, which is great. We have Basigo. We recently got funding for electric cars across East Africa. So I think there's a lot of potential there. But just curious to know whether it's going to hold weight.
Yes. It's actually going to hold weight if you talk to the border guys who've adopted electric bikes.
I've been trying to do a bit of research. What have they been mentioning to you?
For them, maintenance costs have gone down.
Very
Initial
low.
acquisition costs, yes, are high, but running costs are much, much lower. Some of them now are saying that their take home is much better. They're taking home...
Because the maintenance could be, fuel prices
constantly
are high.
Fueling,
Yeah. Okay, we're digressing now. We're getting into other conversations, but thank you so much for coming onto this podcast. I've really enjoyed this conversation, and I think for anybody who's looking to get into B2B sales or marketing, or just some advice as they are trying to grow their business, I think this episode has a thing or two that they can learn from. So anything you'd like to close the episode with for our audience?
Yes. So what I'd like to just advise the audience is be willing to get out of your comfort zone. That's a key thing I'd like to leave everyone with. Change your mindset. Let your mindset be a growth mindset. A growth mindset will get you anything, and it will get you into any space. And don't wait for things to be perfect. Use what you have in your hands. Start from where you're from. You have more than enough already. With the correct mindset, the rest will happen. One of the things I'd also like to say is when you're young, our focus more is on getting money. I'd say, yes, as you chase the money, focus more on building your skill set. Because when you build your skill set, you become a brand. Once you become a brand, you attract more bigger opportunities, which then give you the money. Yeah. And we're working on some things in tech coming soon, so let's see what we shall do.
That's the preview you're giving. That's all you're giving them. We're working on some things in tech.
Yes, so some ideas we're playing around with that we are currently developing. As I said, one of the key things that Africa has, and which is a strong point for us, even though most people look at it as bad, is we have the largest young population in the world. We also happen to have the most problems of any continent in the world.
Yes.
Now, when you have a young population and you have problems, what you then have is the recipe for innovation. It's not recipe for disaster, it's recipe for innovation. For every problem you encounter, create a solution. When you create a solution, you will find people who are ready to give you money for that problem to be taken away. And that's how you become valuable for the market.
Now that is a powerful parting shot.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Norbert. It's been amazing having you on this platform. If you've enjoyed this conversation, make sure you subscribe from wherever you're listening from, whether that's on YouTube, Spotify, or any of the major listening platforms. Check us out on our social media platforms at My Tech Story Africa. We do have content aside from the podcast that we're so happy to be disseminating. Check out our website at mtsafrica.co and subscribe to our newsletters, mtsafrica.co/join. All these, of course, are available in the description from wherever you're listening from. I'm Alice Kanjejo, your lovely host, and I shall see you in the next one.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.